We'll see another highlight of that Royal Gala later in the show. There were 3 quiz shows that made the top 20 of the weekly ratings in 1966. At number 3, University Challenge. Take Your Pick was at number 2. And at number 1, Double Your Money.
Double your money and try to get rich. Double your money without any hitch. Double your money, it's your lucky day. Double your money and take it away.
Right, double your money? Right, fine. Now we're going to show you 3 famous army weapons, and I want you to name 2. Tell her not to lark about like that. Now, don't lark about! Right, now,
Cop hold of it, because it's heavy.
cop hold of it, you don't say that. Sergeant, cop hold of it. Now, first of all, what's that?
Light machine gun.
A little bit louder.
LMG light machine gun.
Light machine gun.
Light.
That's all right. Right. Now, what's that?
That's a Mills grenade.
A Mills grenade. What would happen if she dropped it?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Why not?
Says you pulled that out.
Pull that out.
Oh, don't do that.
Now, what I'm going to ask you, Sally, what do you think that is?
An old watering can.
A what?
No, I don't.
Tell her what that is, Dan.
Some sort of stove, I think.
A stove.
Oh, yeah. Flame.
It's a landmine. It's a landmine. Anyway, you got the first 2 right. You're all right. Take that back. It's quite light.
Double Your Money appeared in the charts for 37 weeks in this year. Let's meet the host of the show, Hughie Green. Nice to meet you, sir. Have a seat.
Who was that skinny guy up there?
You haven't changed a bit.
Oh, flattery will get you nowhere.
Behind you, when you were presenting the programme, on the board was a list of the categories that could be collected or answer questions on. Falconry, philately, civil aviation and bullfighting.
That's right.
Did people pick things like that?
Oh, yeah, sure. Sure they did. We had 42 different categories for them to pick from. And sometimes they would pick philately.
And when did you know that it was a big success with Monica?
Well, we knew it was a big success with Monica the first time she came on, because she was just one of God's wonderful characters. You've seen her, and she came out as a contestant. She came out of the audience like the audience here today, and she came up on the stage, and she was so amusing. She ran 18 minutes the first time. We had some other people who were interesting. The great actress, Dame Maggie Smith, she was a hostess, you know, on W Money. In fact, it was one of her first jobs. She got paid 30 shillings, and on our 150th show, she told us, she said, when I went home in the fog, she said, I was so excited with my 30 shillings, she said, I ran up from the station, and she said, suddenly I realized I'd left my bag in the train, so I ran back, and I said to the man at the station, have you seen my bag? He says, Mrs., we can't even find the bloody train.
Why did you take the show to Moscow?
We took the show to Moscow because, first of all, the Russians asked us if we'd take it there. It was the very first show that was ever done, first game show was ever done in the Soviet Union, as they insisted that I called it in those days. And we got a very high rating for going to Russia, and they were most gracious. They produced 70 people for us, all of whom spoke English. And out of these people, one old man was 78, and a little boy was 7. And when I said to the little boy, what subject are you going to answer questions on? He said, I will answer questions on Robert Burns. You see, Burns is very, very big in the Soviet Union. So I said, do you know the address to the Haggis, which is only about the only thing I knew anything about it, Robert Burns. He said, I recite it. I said, very wonderful, thank you very much. Now, will you recite it in Russian, or will you recite it in English? He said, I will recite it in Scottish. Whereupon he went right ahead and recited it in broken biscuits, but he was very good at the same time.
We've had a bit of a scrabble round, and we've managed to find one of the clips from the Moscow.
From a
program.
Moscow show?
So let's have a look at that.
Dear.
Do you want to go on?
Yes, sir.
Fine. For 4 points, 2 out of 3. This is about colors. First of all, the color purple.
Purple. It's P-U-R-L-E.
P-U-R.
Purple.
Purple.
Oh, just a minute. P-U-R-P-L-E.
All right, the next one, a very common color, green.
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 Well, it is
Yes.
G-R-E-E-N.
You're
It's your
quite,
name, isn't
it's
it?
what? It's my name, that's it, green.
Oh, you should just tell the...
Green. It's my name, right here, it's my name. My name.
When we watch that program, there's one thing that does jump out, that you were playing for points in that program and not money.
Yes, they laid down a couple of rules. One of the things was they didn't want us to say double your money. They wanted us to say, you want to try again, and so on and so forth. So it was a little bit difficult to remember that, but we gave them that promise before we went. So we played for points, and then they got prizes, and the top prize they got was a television set, which was a pretty decent television set, but as I understand it, it would have taken that young man, incidentally won the television set, and it would have probably taken him then something like 8 to 10 years to save up to get one. So it was a great, exciting thing to give it to us.
Absolutely, a huge prize. One thing I must ask you, and it's really just for me, where did I mean that most sincerely, folks, come from?
It came from me.
Did you think about a catchphrase at the time?
No, I don't think so. I think it was something that I got around to saying. We did W Money for 13 years. We did the other one for 17 years. And you do get to a point where you say, now look here, I'll tell you something. I mean that most sincerely. I mean that most sincerely, friends. I had to do that so as the impersonators had something to hang on to.
Well, we're very glad you did. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. And we mean that most sincerely. Ladies and gentlemen, Hughie Green. W Money wasn't the only one of the big hit shows of 1966 that featured Hughie Green. If we look at the top 5 of the year, regardless of any category, we can see that at number 5, there was the London Palladium Show. 4, Seacombe and Friends, and tied at 2, A Royal Gala. And Mrs. Thursday, Miss World was at number 1. The one from the list that Hughie Green was in, A Royal Gala. We close tonight with Hughie, Monica Rose, and Audrey Graham singing a parody of Cole Porter's song, Let's Do It. Our thanks to Hughie and also to Jeff Hurst. Join us next week for another edition of television's greatest hits. Good night.
Coming up in a moment, comedy from the continent. Hello, hello.
Does it? Bernard Braden full of soup. Does it? Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Elsie Tanner and Len, now and then, do it. When the cameras fade, nurses on board 10, do it.
That's how matrons are made.
What happened then was a terrifying accident, every parent's nightmare, and a rescue attempt that required a special brand of courage.
Just trying to protect the little boy, but at the same time so frightening when you're shaking and I'm as white as my shirt.
In an emergency, you don't really have time for emotions.
Dramatic stories of real-life rescues. 999, Thursday at 9:30 on BBC One.
Continuing their short season of black and white in colour, BBC Two in 20 minutes will be screening the acclaimed 1965 dramatisation of E.M. Forster's novel of cultural divide and racist feelings, A Passage to India, starring Dame Sybil Thorndike, Virginia McKenna and Zaya Moyedin. And that's not to say international relations aren't strained now on BBC One.
You find me being examined by our local GP, Dr. Leconte, because my